Hey, everybody, welcome in. It's Friday here with Longshore and McKnight. Yes, he is here. Got the cap on today, and he is with Troy Baseball because, Barry, a lot of college baseball is going to take place on this Friday. I got to tell you, I'm a little excited about it.
Yep. Congratulations to all of the teams that made it, and hope everybody has a happening opening day of the NCAA baseball regionals for all of us who celebrate, and we do. I am in downtown Gainesville, Florida, the old stomping grounds for the Troy baseball game, which starts at 5 o'clock Central against the University of Miami Hurricanes in the Gainesville Regional. Auburn plays at home. Alabama plays at home. Alabama State is in. Jacksonville State has a regional that I think is very good for them, going on all over the place. It's an exciting time. It is a lot of fun. Now, I read somewhere there's 16 regional sites, John.
Yep.
And I think I read, it was Tuesday, so it's been a couple of days ago, that 12 of the 16 regional sites have weather forecasts with 70% or more rain chances this weekend. So it may not go off on schedule, especially this one because it's been raining a pretty good bit down in Gainesville. But they are there. We're ready to go, and I can't wait.
I was going to ask you about that. Jason Caldwell touched on that yesterday with Auburn. There'd been a lot of talk about Auburn playing so early. He actually mentioned that Auburn requested to play in the evening, but the NCAA thought that the NC State, who they play in Central Florida, who's the other person? It's Milwaukee.
Oh, in the Auburn regional?
Yeah. Whoever NC State's playing, they thought was a better matchup. So it does look like Auburn might be in a good position to go ahead and play it early to get it in before the weather pops up, which is usually in the afternoon, and they'll have a little longer to, get some R&R. Because I'm predicting an Auburn win here today. I'm just thinking like they're going to go ahead and win, then ease back, take a load off, and get ready for their next opponent.
Yeah, it's not really a big deal, but it does gripe me a little bit because the reason why I didn't know Jason had said that, but he's right. The reason why they wanted the NC State UCF game was because the NC State coach is retiring after a stellar long career and and that's a better story. A better story than a top 8 seed.
Come on. Home team?
Playing at home team, big crowd. You kidding me?
I mean, what kind
where's
of
the
respect is that? It's kind of it's kind of like Arkansas having to play at 9:15 and then come back and play at 11 a.m. the next week.
Well, here's the deal. The tournaments get underway all over the place. Auburn plays Milwaukee at noon today on ESPN+. Like I mentioned, Troy plays at 5 against Miami. That is going to be on the ACC network tonight. So that's actually over a linear deal. Alabama play at 6 in Tuscaloosa on ESPN+. And Jacksonville State will play Virginia in the Starkville Regional. That's at 6 o'clock on ESPN Plus as well.
Barry, I'm assuming that they will have the Troy-Miami game on at Trojan Arena tonight because I will be there, and I want to make sure I'm able to keep an eye on the game while we're there for the opening ceremonies of the Alabama Special Olympics State Games that will take place throughout the weekend in Troy. 1,200 athletes are converging on Troy today. The torch is making its way through the state of Alabama. It will be at the state capitol this morning, and as it heads to Troy tonight, as it will light the official Olympic cauldron there at Trojan Arena, but got to keep an eye on that Troy-Miami game as well. So, who do I need to see down there to make sure there's somewhere I can go to take a look at the game?
Oh, it's my guy, Herb Reeves. Go and say, hey, where's Herb Reeves? Barry said to look for him. There are a lot of people. Let me get off on this for a minute. There are a lot of people down in Troy with the university, with the town, who really put the shoulder to the wheel for the Special Olympics. I will say it is a major point of pride for Troy University to be able to host the Special Olympics. It's a wonderful cause. John has been involved with it for as long as I've known John and longer, and I've known John for a long, long time. The scope of the Special Olympic state game is really heartening as well. I mean, there are a lot of Special Olympians involved, a ton of volunteers. The logistics of it all, John, is mind-boggling. With all of the different things going on, and with all of the to take care of the participants and make sure that everybody is where they're supposed to be. It's really, if you haven't ever gone for whatever reason, I really encourage you to do so because it's well run. The competition is real.
Oh, it's amazing.
Real, John. I mean, they want to win these things. And certainly, the joy of the Special Olympians is worth your time and attendance there as well. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you mentioned the volunteers, Barry. Couldn't do it without them. And just so many volunteers helping with not only – getting the athletes from venue to venue, place to place. Just a lot going on. I mean, they are there the weekend. They're staying in the dorms. They're eating at the dining hall, the transportation, besides the competition, there's also social activities. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of volunteers are there to help make sure everything runs smoothly. And you're right, Barry. I've said this many a times. I mean, you think your life sucks. You think you're having a crappy day and you're down on yourself and woe is me. Go to a Special Olympics event. It'll change your attitude quickly.
No doubt.
You'll have a big smile on your face and a warm feeling in your heart knowing that these athletes are giving it their all, and they got a huge smile on their face. And, you've heard the term, everybody's a winner at Special Olympics. That is very, very true. There is no bickering, and there's no hard feelings, and they're all congratulatory to everybody. Whether you win or lose, it's just being a part of the competition and being brave in the attempt, which is part of the Special Olympics motto. So always look forward to it. Troy rolls out the red carpet. And if you're in the area, go by Trojan Arena. You're welcome to be there for the opening ceremonies. And it's quite an event. And it'll get going there around 6 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, Barry, college baseball is great, but I'm hooked on women's softball. Last night, incredible game.
I watched that.
College World Series. Tide gets behind, thinking, but no big deal. Yeah. Took care of business, wins the game, moving on, taking on Nebraska on Saturday. Barry, I understand Nebraska's got some player that played back in like 2008, it seems like. Was on a national championship team at Oklahoma 4 years ago, and now she's pitching for Nebraska. What's the deal?
Her name is Jordy Fromm. She's married to a guy. Her name used to be Jordy Ball. Her name is now Jordy Fromm, and she is the real deal. She threw last night for Nebraska. She can hit. I mean, she's amazing. She's one of my favorite college softball players out there. But we watched the game last night. We went out to dinner down the street here in Gainesville and watched it. Alabama was down 3-1,
I think. Yeah.
Girl for Alabama hit the home run. I mean, it was a rocket out to right field. That got out of there in a hurry. And then, as our field correspondent and noted softball aficionado way offsides Jeff points out, he says Bama softball wins on a late 3-run homer from Brooke Wells. We play next versus Nebraska tomorrow night, 6 p.m. I got a couple of things from our River Region Straw chat line. Number one, Brooke Wells, she's a big girl. She's a right-handed hitter, but she hit it out to right field, and it was not close. I mean, that got well out of there. And we're watching it, got back to the hotel and watched the end of it and all that, and it was great. The energy was great. They kept showing crowd reaction, Jeff and John, and they kept showing Greg Byrne. Greg Byrne is sitting in the regular stands.
Sure, yeah.
He's over there, and he's hooping and hollering. The guy's 6'6". It's not hard to spot Greg Byrne, but he's out there. I'm thinking, what have you got the athletic director for the University of Alabama sitting out in the stands for?
He's
I mean,
going
I
Bruce
know there's
Pearl.
boxes there.
Yeah, didn't Bruce Pearl used to do that? Hang out with the fans?
Yeah,
I've seen Cam hang out with the fans.
But in deference to Bruce Pearl, Greg Gurn did have a shirt on.
Yeah, he did.
Also, a couple of other things. Bill from Baltimore says, big game tonight with my daughter's Team Stripes up against Team Black in Little League T-ball. Good luck with that, Bill. Good luck, Bill's daughter. Fanta wants to know what the total is because he's scrambling
kid,
here.
what's the total? Girls T-ball game.
Yeah. Also, Greg Rex says, surely you flew to Miami, Barry. No, Rex, I'm in Gainesville. We're playing Miami. It's an NCAA regional. Preston says, man, that's a long drive, especially if you're going I-95. I'm not making that drive. I'm not in Miami.
Isn't it 75 to Gainesville?
Yeah, you take 75. You take I-10 to 75 in Lake City, 75 south. The one thing, and it's a long way to Miami. I've done that drive. I'm from there. But, you take that Florida Turnpike, and you don't think you're ever going. You're in the middle of nowhere, and you think, man, if I have a flat tire, nobody's going to find me for 3 days.
Barry, I had lunch yesterday with Way Offsides Jeff. We went down to Gale's Down the Street Cafe. I felt like I owed him some lunch, all that coffee he's brought us over the months. So really enjoyed that and talked a little sports, as you can imagine.
I had a chance to talk. I've stayed in touch as well as I can. It's a difficult time. Say a little prayer for Gail. We're thinking about her these days.
No doubt.
She's going through some struggles and all that, but we love us some Gail. But it was a great game last night. Girl was interviewed for Alabama right after the game on the field, Brooke Wells. And, sometimes they had some sort of a stuffed monkey that they have to have, and they love that kind of stuff. Oh, look, it's the team rally monkey or whatever. And so they had that going. And then she says, congratulations, good luck against Nebraska. And she says, thanks, roll tide. Have you got to do that? I mean, because we used to see Milroe do that all the time. Roll tide.
Greg Gurn does it a lot. Mentioning him, he usually wraps up an interview with that. Matter of fact, I saw Greg being interviewed by Feinbaum earlier this week down in Destin, and Greg was sporting the Yay Alabama sweatshirt, which, of course, is what they call their NIL initiatives. He is always out there marketing and promoting, wanting people to contribute to that NIL.
Well, they have here at the baseball NCAA tournament, you have yesterday Troy had it with a mandated press conference. You got to meet with the media, and it was Skylar Meade and Josh Pine and Jimmy Janicki. For Alabama, it was Rob Vaughn. Rob Vaughn's the head coach of the University of Alabama baseball team, along with a guy named Brady Neal and with Justin LeBron, who were really good players. And those players in that thing, they didn't have an Alabama jersey on. They didn't have an Alabama, jacket on. They had the Yay Alabama sweatshirts on. They wanted to make sure everybody knew it said, the big Yay Alabama logo, and they're sitting up there loud and proud. And I'm thinking, so your NIL collective gets more publicity by design from your school than your actual school? Here we are representing the University of Alabama at an NCAA nationwide event. We ain't wearing that script A.
Yeah.
We ain't wearing that elephant in a block A coming through it. We're wearing our NIL collective shirt. And I'm thinking, really, is that what we're at? Is that what
it's
we're
all
doing?
about getting that cash
more so than the school.
Ring. Yeah. You know what? I think this is what they're trying to promote. You like the fact we're in the college baseball playoffs? You like the fact we're in the Women's College World Series? It doesn't come cheap. You got to step up.
I got a story about that when we come back. I've got, again, John's talking about Greg Gurn, probably took the direct flight on the team plane from Destin to Oklahoma City because he was at the spring meetings for a long time, which largely was a big dud.
It kind of was.
I mean, it was a whole lot out there.
It was a dud.
But I get the sense, hearing from Greg Sankey, and we'll talk about this significantly in this program and in the future, you ever sit there and you see, like, if you have a cat
Cat.
and your cat's over there, and it's on the counter, or it's on the table, on your breakfast nook table or something like that, and you're watching it, and it's about to try to jump from the table onto the counter, and you're not stopping. You're thinking, there ain't no way that cat is going to be able to jump from that table to that counter. That's too far. The cat's gathering itself up, and it's about to jump, and it's thinking about it, and it's thinking about it, and it finally does, and it does not make it. It goes about 4 or 5 feet. So you think, what a stupid thing for that cat to do. Well, the SEC in this analogy is that cat. And I keep hearing Greg Sankey talking about, we're thinking about self-governance, about breaking away from the NCAA. And I'm thinking the SEC is that cat, and that counter is going to be, breaking away from the NCAA. And I'm seeing that cat gather itself up, and it's about to make that jump. And I'm thinking, well, that's the stupidest thing that cat could do.
I've owned a cat. I've owned several cats. I don't think I've ever seen a cat not hit its mark. I mean, cats are pretty smart.
Oh, it's
coming off of a roof, or jumping from a tree to a roof, or a counter to a counter.
Well, they do always land on their feet. The SEC ain't landing on their feet if they do this. Please don't entertain this idea, SEC.
Let's talk about this when we return, because I'm wondering, why would they not?
Why would they?
Why do they have to drag all these other people around? Let them do their own thing. They've got as Greg Sankey said, we've got the strongest league in college football. He firmly believes that. I don't argue with him on that. I think the Big Ten has kind of bullied them enough. See how they like life without them. I don't think they're going to fold up their tents.
You expect our viewers to stay through the break, because it's one of the rare times that John and I have a topic that we are on the opposite sides of. Have we ever done this before?
It's called a tease, folks.
Is this new ground for us, that there's actually a subject that John and I disagree on 180 degrees opposite? Well, we'll give it a try. We'll run it up the flagpole, see if you guys like it coming up. He's John Longshore in his home studio. I'm Barry McKnight, Gainesville, Florida. It is our Friday show, Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long-needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long-needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a 4th location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw.
The Declaration of Deals sales event ends soon at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume dealer. Rams, $17,000 off or 0% for 5 years. And Gladiators, $11,000 off or 0% financing. Only at Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The Declaration of Deals sales event ends soon at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume dealer. Wranglers, $9,000 off or 0% financing. And Grand Cherokees, $8,000 off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
It's Earring Fest at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry.
Okay,
here we are. Vaughn Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. All month long, earrings are featured. The display cases are busting with beautiful earrings, like 1-carat diamond studs, just $249. That's right, 1-carat diamond studs for $249. How about this fabulous graduation special? Pearl stud earrings, just $99. That's right, pearl studs, just $99. And of course, May's birthstone is the emerald, cherished for its rich green hue and timeless symbolism of renewal, love, and prosperity, making it a captivating choice for elegant jewelry. So many emeralds to choose from, so many fabulous, beautiful jewelry items to choose from at Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. Go by and see them today. Open 7 days a week, 8163 Vaughn Road in Peppertree. Earring Fest all month long at Marguerite's.
Drive away in a Ford F-150 or win your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's Truck and $25K free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit our Players Club and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Drawings May 29th and 30th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. If you encounter one wolf, chances are there's a pack nearby. Fortunately, the same applies to beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. To avoid going in circles, make note of recognizable landmarks, like that.
What's wrong with going in circles?
Different circles, Ross.
Okay.
Head for the mountains.
Okay. Hey, just want to make
Here we go.
Yeah, I think we're back. Glad we're here. 21 minutes past the hour. Rodney Orr, the Tighter Insider, at the top of hour number 2. I know that caused a lot of confusion and angst yesterday because Rodney had a speaking engagement, so he was able to come on with us today. So we greatly appreciate that. That's the top of the hour. Also, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you tell your friends and acquaintances about that as well, because we want you to know everything we're doing here. There's instant notifications. You'll never be left behind. And you can check us out at yellowhammernews.com, at Yellowhammer News Facebook page, our Facebook page, YouTube, Instagram, X, Spotify, iTunes. So many ways to consume what we do. We just produce it every morning from 7 to 9, and we put it in the can for you to consume and watch and listen to on your schedule. That's what makes it great.
Yep. There are risks. We understand that with the way it's done. There might in the future be a point in the program. Heck, it might be today where John says, "Man, I shouldn't have said that. What was I thinking? Why did I say that? Gosh, I wish I hadn't have said that. I might have been wrong on that." I've known it for a long time, and that hasn't ever happened. But, I mean, it could happen when one day John says, "Man, I should have said something like that." But it's in the can. That means we got to run it for the next, 22 hours. And you'll sit there and think, "Man, watch this. Hang on. Here comes that time where John said this thing. Can you believe he said that?" Here it comes. Watching it. You can do it over and over and over again if you want to. That's what we love. Now,
yeah, that's exactly right. So,
Greg Byrne,
Greg
Sankey, John Cohen, all of the SEC presidents and chancellors. I don't know how long it extends. They're all down in Destin, or we're all down in Destin this week. The football coaches are there. Alex Goller says nobody cares what he has to say. The basketball coaches were there. The baseball coaches ain't there because most of them are coaching in the NCAA tournament. With women's basketball, women's tennis, track and field, all that. I don't know how far it goes, but nothing other than, hey, let's get rid of Cupcake Week.
Yeah, which they're not. I mean, they're not getting rid of it. They're just moving it to a different part of the season.
That's about it, though, John. There was no action on any major items at all. There was no vote on a future governance model, no decision about whether they're going to create their own rules and their own enforcement. We're gonna live by our own things.
And I've said
There's
this
no
way too many times
from the NCAA
over the last 2 years. I'm tired of the talk. That's all we're getting is lip service. Do something. I mean, let's get something going here. Are we staying at 12? We're going to 16? We're going to 24? I'm tired of the talk. Got some our politicians up in D.C. trying to get something started here. Will that ever happen? History tells us it won't. I mean, I kind of like what they're wanting to do. One-time transfers, 5 years of eligibility. Coaches can't leave a team in mid-season. Banning
call it the
pro
Lane
players.
Kiffin rule.
Yeah. Is that going to ever get passed? They're getting more lip service. I'm just tired of all the talk. This stuff that Kirby Smart mentioned earlier in the week, I don't have a problem doing our own thing. Sounds good, but it isn't going to happen. I find it very hard to believe that something like that would happen. Now, I'm intrigued by it. I think the Big Ten has kind of bullied the rest of the country. I mean, you think about it, since Texas and OU, that announcement was made at Media Days in Hoover 4 or 5 years ago. The Big Ten's kind of gone and said, okay, well, we're going to play those games. All right, we'll just go gobble up the Pac-12 or whatever it was at that time. We'll get our Fox TV deal. We'll start shaping the narrative of a 2014 playoff, which basically just gets more of their teams in it. And I guess the SEC's kind of got their feelings hurt and got their lip poked out and said, you know what? I think we're just going to go do our own thing. Okay? But quit talking about it, then do it.
Well, again, there may be some signs out there, and John is much better about reading signs. Ooh, Barry. Oh, did you read that one from Cecil? Yeah, it wasn't anything. Oh, you wasn't? You didn't, John can read the signs a little bit better than I, but there are signs that something drastic is afoot. At least they're thinking about it, John. There are some signs out there. People are talking about it. Sankey was mentioning it. Again, words. But, we certainly, I'm at the behest of the chancellors and my bosses and stuff like that. I'm with John. I mean, it's all talk, and we've been hearing a lot of talk. But college sports is in, with all respect to Mark Knopfler, dire straits right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be some things happen. I kind of like the cruise bill. There's got to be some things done, and they got to be done quickly. Could the SEC actually make it work? How would it look? Could the SEC govern itself? You guys know we're the big dog out there. Well, not necessarily. Well, we can live on our own. Maybe you can live on your own, but how? How would it work?
Well,
what would you do? What would it look like? What are we talking about?
I think a couple of things. I believe ESPN's a big part of it.
Yeah.
They love the SEC programming, the television ratings, the football game ratings prove that out. Much better than Big Ten ratings on a season basis. So I think ESPN is very pleased with the return they're getting on their investment with the SEC. So I think they would be a huge partner if something like that happened. The more you give the Big Ten exposure and more opportunities to make a playoff and this, that, and the other, does that chip away at the TV ratings? I could see it happening, and I'm sure the ESPN and SEC does not want that to happen. ESPN is firmly into this. We don't want any more than 16. Why? Because they've got an agreement that if it exceeds 16, other TV partners can get in on the bidding. So I'm sure they don't want that. And if the SEC did do something like this, I would see other schools wanting to jump in and make it even bigger. Clemson, Miami, Georgia Tech.
State.
There's other schools in this region that would want to be a part of an SEC split and crown their own national champion. Who says you got to have the Big Ten to do it?
And then we would have had full circle from John's yearly constant diatribe against the bowl system. And yeah, John and I have been working even from back there when the bowl system declared a national champion. And the constant references to Auburn winning a split championship in 1957 on probation, splitting it with Ohio State under Shug Jordan, into going all the way around, crowning a national champion on the field to back again towards espousing another split national champion. And here's how
I think it would ultimately play out. And I heard this scenario earlier in the week. In the early 60s, we had the AFL in the NFL, and they finally came together to form what is now the NFL. They realized they needed to work together instead of separately. I could ultimately see that happening. This little 2-3 year experiment, this just isn't what we want. Let's come together, hold hands, and get this thing worked out.
The ABA and the NBA. It's all about television. Pete Rozelle with the NFL said, "Look, guys, we're cannibalizing each other. We're impacting your television exposure. You're impacting our television exposure. How about we become one big happy family and work together, and everybody wins rather than competing against each other."
I don't think the Big Ten would want something like that to happen because I've said it before. I mean, I can't imagine a Northwestern Minnesota game is going to outrate a Mississippi State South Carolina game. I don't think a Rutgers against a Purdue game is going to outrate Arkansas at
Vanderbilt.
Kentucky.
Okay.
I just don't see that. And those games, I mean, I don't even know how I came up with those 4 Big Ten teams. I had to think about those.
Those are pretty good ones. Those are pretty good ones off the top of his head.
Whoa.
Just the tone of what John's talking about. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with the substance. He's probably right in that flight of fancy. But college athletics was originally intended for degree-seeking college students to compete against each other at a high level, and maybe some fans would get to take it in and root for the old alma mater.
Mm-hmm.
Are these guys degree-seeking? Are these guys looking and saying, "Golly, man, I've got to buckle down in this intro to anthropology course, so I can keep my grade point average on"? No, I would submit to you that at the highest level they are not. And John's talking about, well, now I don't know the TV ratings for Northwestern Purdue or Rutgers Purdue, which was a good get for John right off the top of his head, would outweigh Arkansas versus Kentucky. And I'm thinking, still, even now, I'm holding out hope. This is college, right? These are college students and all of that. And this is what the ratings there would certainly dwarf the ratings of this game because this team right here doesn't have nearly the cachet as that team. And I'm thinking that's what's ruling an enterprise, which is where degree-seeking college students.
In Kentucky at 6:45 on SEC Network, then Rutgers at Purdue at 11 a.m. on FS2.
So we're
not interested in that.
We're talking about the SEC playing only the SEC every year in football. I mean, changing it around.
Didn't we do it in 2020?
Well, yeah, but will there not be fatigue at some point? I've heard somebody talk about, man, the Braves are always playing the Expos. Man, do they ever play anybody other than the Marlins? Fatigued about it. Would there not be fatigued about, we have played them 9 times in the last 11 years.
Yeah, here's fatigue for you. Chattanooga, Sanford, East Carolina, Florida Atlantic, UAPB, have no clue who that is. Arkansas Pine Bluff, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah. UTEP, Furman, Missouri State, Austin P. That's fatigue. That's what I don't want. Oh, no more cupcake games. Looks like there's a few on the schedule. They just moved them around a little bit.
But it's 16 to 18 teams, and you just recycle them over.
Well, there again, I think, and I've seen some other accounts that, does Clemson want to still hang around in the ACC? Miami, Florida State, maybe even Georgia Tech gets welcomed back. Hey, even extend an olive branch to Tulane. They won a couple of SEC titles in football, believe it or not.
Well,
bring them back.
If you've got if you get Tulane, you got to get Boston College, and I find it difficult.
I can only go so far with BC. There's only so far I'm going to go with them.
Really?
But you mentioned the academic point of it. Sarkisian is crowing about how, academic standards at Texas are so rigid. And, he was kind of taking a shot at Ole Miss and basket weaving and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, I wonder how many credits Cam Coleman's are going to transfer from Auburn to Texas. Is all of them going to transfer? Is he there to get a degree at Texas, or is he there to play football for 3 months and go to the NFL? I mean, I've wondered about this academic side of it ever since this kind of started mushrooming with NIL and transfers. Is the academic side even part of the equation anymore? Do these kids even go to school?
I do kind of wonder how many credits Cam Coleman earned when he was at Auburn to transfer. You know, I
bet he earned more. Was it Joe Cribbs or who was the one that was ineligible? Brent Fullwood. Yeah, for a bowl game, I believe it was. But I think Guy still let him play.
He let him play. Yeah, there's no doubt that did happen. So there is that. When we come back, I've got a story to tell.
Oh, good. I love stories.
Rodney Orr, Tider Insider, coming up at the top of the hour. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Hey, you want your property looking its very best this spring and summer, and River Region Straw has premium long needle pine straw to make that property pop. You're not buying sticks, stems, or pine cones. You're buying premium long needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the region, full of color that will last all season long. And now River Region Straw has a fourth location in Chelsea on Highway 280 to go along with their locations here in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn. No order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. To get your River Region Straw, drop by any of their 4 locations or give Kenny a call or text today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959, and have the best-looking property this spring and summer with straw from River Region Straw. The Destin Connection Seafood Market at 3750 Norman Bridge Road in Montgomery has the freshest seafood direct from the Gulf of America. I'm talking red snapper and grouper, all sizes of Gulf shrimp, jumbo lump crab meat and crab claws, Louisiana Bay oysters, and New Bedford scallops. They are a full-service seafood market and kitchen serving po' boys, dinners, and sandwiches. You know, many well-known restaurants in the River region purchase their seafood from the Destin Connection because they know it's the absolute best. Call ahead and your order will be ready for pickup. The Destin Connection Seafood Market, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call 288-4272. That's 288-4272.
We are here, but we go.
We're here.
Yep, behind that.
23 minutes to the top, or 22 minutes to the top of the hour at this point. So I'm sitting back waiting to hear story time. You had mentioned before the break you had a story to tell.
Well, I hated to miss the show yesterday, but I had an opportunity. And I'll make it up later.
You got to answer the door, Barry. You know, when opportunity knocks, you got to open that door.
Yeah, that came late Wednesday night, early yesterday morning. I got an invitation from John Sumrall to come and tour the facilities, tour the program and everything. Of course, John's known John Sumrall. I've known John Sumrall for forever. He was the coach at Troy, and now he's in his first year as the head coach at the University of Florida. And I have a background at Florida. I went to school there, grew up as a fan and all that stuff. And so we went yesterday, met him, it is, you probably know this, and we'll certainly talk to Rodney about this, but it's the beginning of the first official visit weekend, and that's a big deal. And but yet he still took time to give a tour. It was me and Skylar and a couple of other guys, and we got to see the whole thing. It was good to catch up with him. He's so great.
Now, and I saw the photo. It was a great photo of you and the coach. But what we really want to know, Barry, is what really did happen with that Auburn deal. what really did happen? I mean, we
You know-
want to know the juicy details because I'm sure once the doors were closed and y'all were yucking it up and patting each other on the back, you go, Coach, now really, well, what happened over there with Auburn?
I did not talk with him about that, but I did talk with somebody who shall forever be
Yeah.
nameless,
Yeah, we don't need names.
who is over there, and they gave me some insight into. There was a couple of things that Auburn. Well, no, I'm not even going to mention any names. That a certain school asked him to agree to. That involved athletic department personnel that he had to hire, for instance.
Yeah.
And this and that, and didn't really see the need to have that guy on staff. Well,
Yeah.
this, it's just an example. I'm not saying
Yes.
all that happened. Anything that would get me,
Well,
sued or anything like
I
that, I'm
agree
against.
with what
But
you're saying.
there
I
were
think-
things that were asked of him at Auburn that were not asked of him at Florida, that didn't really have much to do with actually putting a football team on the field and competing against his
That's
SEC
not
brethren.
hard to believe at all, Barry. I mean,
Is that-
history tells us that there's
Yeah.
a pattern of that over. on
This
the
did not.
Plains.
This was totally unofficial. It was, without. I'm not naming sources and never will. But
I
that was.
cannot wait for the third weekend of the season when the Gators roll into Pat Dye Field at Jordan-Hare Stadium for that night kickoff.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that one.
So it was not somebody on his staff or anybody. It was somebody who is associated with the program. So don't, I don't want this to go viral or anything
No,
like that
heck
because
no.
it was
Barry, I did
totally
see,
unofficial.
speaking of that, Florida has not played at Auburn since 2011.
We talked about that a little bit because that is, all respect to, whoever it is, Florida Atlantic and whoever else is on the schedule. That's a big focus. But I got to go into the big football building, and it is unbelievable. I got to see everything from the nutrition center, which is absolutely unbelievable, to the weight room, to the cold tub, to all of the different offices, to all the creative offices. We got to go into the football stadium, and the new football building is about a half a block away from the football stadium, where I've been a million times. And they showed me all of the mock-ups they have for all of the official visitors. They don't just walk them in there and, oh, hey, this is a locker room. You got, they made sure that all the Heisman trophies were in a certain spot. And is the lighting good on the Heisman trophies? We got it. I mean, they kind of pop, right? Look, these are our national championships. Put those over here, and the creative people are all that. Everything has a purpose. But the word is that they are fundraising, John, and Summerall did talk about that. To your point earlier in the show about NIL and all that, and about how they're going to wear their Yay Alabama shirts whenever they're possible. Summerall, to paraphrase him, he's going to be starting to fundraise, and it's going to be a million, close to $1 billion fundraising project to renovate the football stadium.
It probably needs a little spit and shine on it. I agree.
A lot of it is also going to be for talent acquisition. To paraphrase Summerall, I've been at, and he's started doing this. Do you want a good team, or do you want and I'll paraphrase the word he used, or do you want a bad team?
Yeah.
And it's all he says. It's interesting how much better a job they think I do as a coach when I have good players.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It was really illuminating. I love me some Summerall. He's a good friend, and he didn't have to do that, particularly when, they had all these visits going on. But but I spent about a half hour, about 45 minutes with him and one of his staff members who I know really well. Took us the rest of the way through and all that, and showed us everything. They have got. They do have a smoothie stand.
No way.
Yeah, they do have a smoothie stand. They have an area. He said, this is my favorite area. This is what kind of sticks with me, called the grab and go area. It's kind of like the grab and go at the gas station, except a player can get on his app on his phone in the morning and say, yeah, my class ends at 11. I'll be by the nutrition center at 11:15. And you can tap, I want an omelet. I want a biscuit. I want 2 protein shakes and an apple.
Okay.
Enter. And it goes to there, and at 11:15, you can walk in there, and there's going to be a big paper sack or whatever with exactly that in there. You can walk in, grab it, turn around, and walk out.
Man, how convenient is that?
I mean, it's a different world out there. It's just all really interesting. Summerall's going to win there. I have no doubt. It may take a year or two, but goodness gracious, they got a lot of
I like I like the future there as well. And there again, I think that third weekend could be interesting. I mean, we've already kind of hinted at it a little bit. The Monday after that Florida-Auburn game, if Florida goes in there to win, told you, hired the wrong guy. I mean, that's coming, folks. Just get ready for it. Bought to get a message board. Freak Out Auburn podcast, all those guys that blurb every day, they'll be freaking out. Should have hired Summerall. Do it. Same old Auburn. Can't get out of their own way, making stipulations that you got to keep this guy, you got to do that, you got to do this. It's coming. Get ready. So, Auburn, you better win that one because I know what the tone's going to be after that game.
Yeah.
Not good.
They are circling that. I mean, they're giving all the flowers, all the respect to Florida Atlantic, but it was good. It was good. And a lot of his staff, of course, was on his staff at Troy as well. So we got a chance to catch up with a lot of those guys as well. But the part about why he hitting at Auburn, again, it was with somebody unofficial, not with the program, and it wouldn't. I was thinking how glad I was, quite frankly, that John wasn't there on there with us. Oh, he would have been welcome. Summerall likes John, but I would be afraid that the conversation around the tour of the facility and the locker room and the weight room, and there's players there all throughout there. It was busy. It's an official visit weekend, but I'm afraid the conversation would have probably centered on. So I'm hearing, Coach, that when the Obs were interviewing us, that did they say, and it would have been, it would not have.
Well,
it would not
like
have centered
Coach
on
said,
the right thing.
Did they want a request that Jimmy Rain and Tuberville and Malzahn could stand on the sidelines with him during a game? How many years ago was that? I mean, it's amazing that that's still in people's minds. Now,
how long ago
I still remember.
How long was ago was Tuberville and Auburn? It's been a while, and a couple of jobs ago, right? Including a couple of political jobs.
I'll never forget that. It was an early game. I think it might have been an 11:30 kick, something like that. The game's winding down. It's 2:00, and I'm looking over there. I'm thinking, wait a minute, is that a new coach? Who was that guy on the sideline standing next to Tuberville? Lo and behold, it was Jimmy Rain.
Tuberville had actually unofficially 2 departures from Auburn. One of them was in 2003, which is famously been termed by some people as Jetgate.
Mm-hmm.
And his final departure from Auburn was in 2008. So whatever happened that John's alluding to, and I have no idea, happened between 2003 and 2008, which, if you look, is 18 years ago.
Man, that long? No way.
Yeah.
18 years ago.
Yeah.
Bob from Pike Road Bear, he's in on the SEC breaking away, it looks like.
He says, Bob from Pike Road, in his best imitation of Nostradamus, predicts the SEC will break off from the NCAA initially alone and will play at least one season just the SEC. After the first season, other schools will join.
Okay. I kind of mentioned that a little bit. I mean, I've never been a big fan of Florida State being in on the deal, Clemson. But if it happens, a little breakaway, I could see other schools wanting to be in, making the SEC bigger, more media markets. I mean, you know, I don't have a problem with Tech being in. I mean, there again, at this day, years ago, I would have been opposed to this. But I don't have there again, you know, Barry, when it comes to sports, I'm pretty liberal. You know, let them all in. And if you want to let Tech back in, why not? What's the harm?
Yeah.
Let them go ahead and get in.
Well, let's take a break. Let's see. Before we take a break, we're going to take a break in just a minute. Florida State and Clemson have never been happy with the piece of pie that they have gotten from the ACC, because those are the two most visible programs in the ACC. They're the ones that the network likes. They want a bigger piece of the pie. There's been lawsuits about that with the ACC and Florida State and Clemson. They would probably like to come to the SEC. Would that mean more money to them, you know, than they'd get from the ACC? Would you trade the money for a much more difficult road to a championship in the SEC than the ACC?
I would position it this way. The first thing that I would put on the table would be something similar to what Texas and OU had to deal with, as well as, I believe, some of the Pac-12 schools that went to the Big Ten. They don't get as much of the pie the first couple of years.
Right, yeah.
So I would put that on these teams if they wanted to be a part of a proposed SEC move.
The only thing I like about it, that I can get my head around about it, is if it was an SEC, if it was a super conference, as Bob from Pike Road points out, it'd be a little easier to govern. You know, by gosh, we are going to have a 5-year window where players can be eligible. You start your clock after high school, 5 years, whatever happens to you, after 5 years, you're done. You can transfer once within our little deal without penalty. After that, if you have to transfer again for whatever reason, doesn't matter, your fault, their fault, nobody's fault, you're going to have to sit out a year. And you know, it'd be a lot easier because you wouldn't have to have a consortium with the Middle Tennessee States and the Tennessee Chattanoogas, who are NCAA members and would have an equal vote. You could just vote amongst yourselves.
You love it.
And it's a much smaller scope. You could actually get a lot of these things adjudicated more quickly.
Yeah,
with a
and I
smaller
think, you know, I know it sounds extreme, and there again, don't have a lot of confidence that it would ever happen. But I do think if it did happen, I think we would eventually come back to a common ground amongst the Big Ten and the SEC to come together, similar to the AFL-NFL merger back in the 60s. And that where our super conference would come from. I've talked about this big boy league for years, and I think that would ultimately be what would happen. You'd have 50 to 60 schools, big boys, they're running the show. Everybody else go scratch and claw and make it your own way. We're done with y'all. We're doing our own thing. Kind of a hard way and a long way to get around to doing it, but if the SEC did break away, I think ultimately they'd all come back together, and then we'd have the big boy league.
But there will be schools that, if this SEC conference, and I still don't like it, but I'm trying to just figure out, okay, what would it look like? How would it work? Would you have your March Madness for the SEC or, you know, the baseball tournament? I don't know, but you would have the opportunity to invite teams. But, John, after a couple of years, you'd also have the opportunity to tell some teams, hey, man, it ain't working out. Bill from
Yeah.
Baltimore says, is it going to be like Maryland, where all the fans regret going to the Big Ten and don't care as much, but the admins get more money? Well, if it doesn't work out, you say, hey, Maryland, we gave it a shot, you know. Hey, it's not you, it's me. I think you need to start seeing other people.
Mm-hmm.
We've just grown apart. You know, we want different things now.
Do you think Maryland
it's goodbye.
Think the ACC would ever welcome Maryland back in?
If it made sense. This day and age in college athletics, I think they'd let the dang Taliban in if it made them money. I'm not sure.
I'm with you. They'd there's a lot of things I think they do.
Daniel says, I only want to see Miami added to the SEC if any additional schools are added. Watching Auburn in Miami every other year would be a lot of fun.
Well,
the
you're going to
problem
get to
with
see
Miami,
that in a couple of years because Auburn and Miami have a home-and-home scheduled.
The problem with Miami, and I've been reading some stuff about them, and UCLA, those are the only two football-playing schools in the power conferences that have home stadiums that are not within an easy drive of campus, that are not on campus. Auburn's is on campus. Alabama's is on campus. Troy's on campus. But for the UCLA game, they're talking about how it's just been terrible because UCLA baseball's number one in the country, and they play in a little tiny rickety stadium, Jackie Robinson Stadium, that is actually ground rented from like the Department of Veterans Affairs. And Rose Bowl is 27 miles away from the UCLA campus, and 27 miles in Los Angeles. John knows that's about an hour and a half worth of driving to go 27 miles in LA. And the students, you know, they can't have a big pregame party at the frat house. They can't go, you know, afterwards to the frat house or to the local watering hole and celebrate. You got to drive all the way back. Same thing with Miami. The Hard Rock Stadium is nowhere near the University of Miami campus.
No.
University of Pittsburgh is actually fairly close to Heinz Field or whatever they call it right now.
And I guess the same with South Carolina. They don't play on campus either, but that facility is not too far from campus.
It's right there. Yeah, you're right. So they'd have to have some things addressed. Let's take a break now.
You know, if Miami's ever explored of having an on-campus football stadium. I know that's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. There's not a lot of spots. Same thing with UCLA. UCLA is right next to Bel Air, you know, Pasadena. Oh, not Pasadena, but Westwood. Those neighborhoods are pricey neighborhoods, and there are people in those pricey neighborhoods who donate a lot of money to political campaigns locally to make sure that, hey, we're not going to have a 70 or 60 or 50,000 seat stadium jam up next to the back of my palatial Bel Air home with all of this traffic and all of the hooliganism and all of the smell. You know, it's almost an impossibility for UCLA to buy the land to build a stadium and it make any sort of financial sense or political sense. So that ain't happening there. They got to figure something.
I don't see it. I don't see it happening. But obviously, they have a good spot for their softball team because they're pretty good. They're in the Women's College World Series.
Well,
speaking of that, I got to tell you, I really like women's college softball more than I do men's college baseball. It's faster. It's more exciting. Much more going on. I'm glued to it. I'll be watching again this weekend. College baseball, I might take a peek here and there, but I'm all in on women's college softball.
It's gotten a lot better. I mean, it's always been good, but they had a third baseman last night in the Nebraska game, and that girl was like Brooks Robinson over there.
Yeah.
I mean, that girl could play. Of course, Jordy Fromm, Alabama, their pitcher, whose name escapes me at the moment, the SEC Pitcher of the Year, that girl could fire. You know,
there was I don't know who the third baseman is for Alabama, but somebody for UCLA hit a shot to the third baseman. It was like, whoop, ching, zipped it over there to first, like no big deal. And of course, the first thing I thought of, Barry, I was with some people. I went, hey, does anybody remember that big girl that played third base for Alabama years ago when Montana Faust was the pitcher? I mean, they had a girl that was I mean, I don't know any other way to describe her. She was kind
was
of
husky.
large.
Yeah,
it was
she
hard
was
to get
husky.
something past her.
Well,
but
the girl,
she could play.
They had a graphic on there where I think it was Wells. It's the first time she hit, of course, the home run, but it was the first girl that hit the home run to tie it, and they had a graphic up there. She and Wells are the first two players with 20-plus home runs in a year since 2019 when somebody, and Bailey Hemphill.
Oh, I remember that
hit
name.
20. And I'm thinking, Bailey Hemphill's last year was 2019. She's a big-boned girl.
Yeah.
But a fine player, wonderful person,
Certainly.
kind to her mother. I'm thinking, man, that is 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I remember it like it was yesterday. Let's take a break. When we come back, it's Rodney
Real quick,
Orr time.
one more softball note before we do go top of the hour. From the VIP River Region Straw text line, God tells me, I'm turning over a new leaf. Cutting back on aub gigging. Not going to ask how the Auburn softball team did last night.
But still having the same effect. Let's take a break. Rodney Orr brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market coming up. Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the River region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. So glad you are with us here today, rolling into hour number 2 here on Longshore and McKnight on this Friday. Of course, our friend Rodney Orr is brought to you exclusively by our friends at the Destin Connection Seafood Market here in Montgomery, 3750 Norman Bridge Road. Call ahead. Your order will be ready for pickup, 288-4272. And, of course, the freshest seafood arriving daily. The display cases are full of anything you could imagine. When it comes to seafood, they've got it. It's the freshest. You can pick it up yourself and bring it home and cook it up, or David and his staff can cook it up for you. The Destin Connection Seafood Market. Go by and see them today. And don't forget about those incredible po' boys. I'm a big fan of the grilled grouper po' boy, but you can get fried shrimp, oysters, you name it. They can fix it up for you with all those sides. Really, really good. Hey, Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, thanks for joining us today. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well, guys. How are the both of you?
Doing well. I can imagine right now in my mind's eye, I'm here in Gainesville, Florida, with the NCAA baseball tournament, Troy playing in the Gainesville Regional. I can imagine the level of excitement going on campus. Everybody excited about the softball team. Got a big win last night in the Women's College World Series. Baseball team hosting a regional as a national seed. and a big official visit weekend as well. You got a lot to say, Grace, over at TylerInsider.com, Rodney.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, obviously, programs are having a lot of success right now. I know that obviously everyone's excited about, what happened last night versus
you.
Yep, I got you.
Versus UCLA. Yeah, so it was a huge win. I tell you, Alabama had a chance there. We've seen them in that position before in some of these World Series games where they've fallen behind and they've not been able to catch up. And I thought the pitching was outstanding, obviously, but Brooke Wells, her 3-run shot was just big time. So it was great to see this team. They played with a lot of consistency, and they're a really well balanced team, and I think we saw that last night.
Well, I thought it was exciting. It's there again. I was just talking about how much I've enjoyed watching women's softball, particularly when you get into postseason. I actually like it better than baseball. Faster, more going on, not as much downtime. And a big win last night. They look ahead to a game tomorrow night against the Nebraska team, Rodney, that Barry was telling me has got a pitcher. Well, really a pitcher and a batter. She can do it all for the Cornhuskers. Going to have a tall task tomorrow.
Well, obviously, Nebraska's really good. I mean, I know that they won last night. They beat Arkansas, with a walk-off home run. And, they're certainly one of the top teams. And, look, UCLA was a team that came in with a lot of firepower, 200 home runs they had on the season. That's double what Alabama had. And we've talked about Alabama's added a lot of pop to their lineup. So the way they shut UCLA down was really impressive. Brisky did a fantastic job. And, Nebraska's going to be a real challenge. We know that. But listen, this is the best of the best. And John, you made a comment that you really like you kind of get caught up more in softball than maybe baseball. And I tell you, just when you watch these games, you feel the energy, the passion of college sports. And I think we're missing that in some of those other sports. And I'm not talking about baseball, but you just don't feel that same level of excitement, enthusiasm that you maybe feel when you're watching a game like you did last night.
I wonder what the logistics look like for Greg Byrne, the Alabama athletic director, because, he was down in Destin for the spring meetings with a lot that we frankly thought needed to happen but wasn't going to happen. And then he was on camera last night at the softball game. Might he come down to Tuscaloosa today for the opening of the baseball series? There's a lot that he's got going on over there, and it's a good problem if you're an athletic director. You got a lot of successful teams playing in the postseason, Rodney.
Yeah, no, I mean, I expect him to go back and forth. I mean, he's on the move. He always shows up at the events, but and knowing Greg Byrne, to be honest with you guys, he prefers, honestly, to stay in the background and let his teams and his coaches be the forefront of it. And but yeah, he shows up. He is certainly there, always very supportive of the teams, obviously, and as most ADs are. So I would expect him, Barry. I wouldn't be surprised he's back in Tuscaloosa. Yes.
Yeah, tonight 6:00 against Alabama State. The Alabama baseball team under Rob Vaughn. A lot to like about them. They're a top 8 national seed as well, which I thought was perceptive of the committee. It's been an Alabama team that has surprised some people, but in the great grand scheme of things, heading into the postgame, their resume is really good. Anything about this Alabama team pleasantly surprise you? Are you surprised that they're in the really good position that they're in right now, Rodney?
Yeah, Barry, I could not have projected them to go 18-12 in the SEC. I really didn't. They get swept by Kentucky in that opening series, and I know that there were a lot of people that were questioning, this could be a long season, right? They come back with sweeps over Florida and Auburn. Really impressive. They had some ups and downs. That just when you thought they were on a roll, they get swept at home by Arkansas, I think it was. And so, but the way they responded to adversity, and look, I think this is an Alabama baseball team that has a good roster. I don't think it's a great roster. Again, it's really good, but I think what they've done and I say they, Rob Vaughn, the way he's managed this team, the way he's kept them focused, especially when they've gone through adversity, has been really big. There was a lot of questions to him, and I heard him respond to them about, hey, is your goal to host a regional? And, this was late in the season. He said, no, it's not even our focus. Our focus is on playing our best baseball every time we take the field. And that's where we are. We want to get better and better and be playing our best baseball at the end, which is what they did and what they're doing.
Rodney, spring meetings, Barry touched on it, were this week down in Destin. In my mind, just more talk, no action. I'm tired of hearing the talk. A lot of talk about a 2014 playoff, talk about the SEC going out and doing their own thing and leaving everybody else behind, whatever, pie in the sky, in my opinion.
Right.
But one quote that I did hear that really kind of stuck with me is the reasoning for the 2014 playoff. And athletic directors all across the country have been making comments like, hey, we're spending $30, $40 million in NIL. We don't want to go to the Capital One Bowl. If we're going to invest that type of money, we want to be in the playoff.
Yeah.
And there again, it seems to just boil back down to money. And if we're spending it, we want to be a part of the playoff, not some bowl game that nobody cares about.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense for those guys, those athletic directors. Now, John, Sankey obviously is he hasn't really come out and said this. In fact, he denied that he's an opponent of the 24-game playoff, and probably he can say that because legitimately say that because until he sees all the financial the money impact that it would have, he can't answer that. But you almost wonder if part of his reluctance to support it is he doesn't want to lose the SEC championship game because that's a lot of money for the SEC, right? But now I can tell you, coaches, obviously going to a 9-game SEC schedule, they're I think the SEC championship game, if you ask coaches, most of them would rather do away with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's all about money. That's going to be the bottom line. It's going to be money. And I think all these other conferences, John, see that for them financially, moving to a 2014 playoff would be beneficial. I don't know if that's what Sankey feels in terms of the SEC.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 9-game schedule. I heard a lot of talk that coaches were saying, listen, we were under the belief if we're going to 9 games and playing a quality non-conference to have 10 really good games that there was going to be a 16-team playoff in place. Well, that's not the case either.
Yeah.
So a lot of these coaches, a lot of
They
these
feel
athletic
misled.
directors, not real happy with where things stand. And there's a lot of these coaches and ADs I think are maybe expressing their feelings a little bit more than they have in the past.
We're talking SEC.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can sense it in Kirby, especially.
Mm-hmm.
He's come out with, multiple comments and not just this week, but, in the past. And you can tell. And I think, John and Barry, I think it's moving to 24. I don't know how soon this is going to happen, but I think it's moving to 24. And I even said on my show, Tighter Insider TV on Tuesday night, that I didn't expect to come out of this week with some kind of clear-cut answer from the SEC, from Sankey. And I think that's pretty much where we still are. I mean, I think that, it's the SEC hasn't taken a stance per se. And I think that's probably to come. But I do think this is going to eventually become a 2014 playoff.
Always great to have the insight of Rodney Orr, TighterInsider.com, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. If there's not enough already going on, this is the first weekend of the summer where official visits are scheduled on campus for football recruits. A couple of questions about it off the top. Number one, what does this opening weekend look like for Alabama? And number two, you wrote on TighterInsider.com as part of a larger piece, Rodney, Alabama fans should not get hopes up for another highly ranked class. Can you expand upon those two topics, this weekend specifically, and about the upcoming class in total?
Well, that gets them worked up, doesn't it, Barry?
It does.
Well, here's the thing, and DeBoer has said this too. He's confirmed this. They're going to sign a small class. It's not going to be big. So when you sign a small class, you're not likely to rank really high.
Right.
And I do think there's a chance it could be a really talented class based on guys they have coming in for visits and maybe have a chance to eventually sign. But I just don't think it's going to be a large enough class numbers wise to rank highly. So people say, how many? Well, John, Barry, I spoke to someone who I would consider really close to the situation. And they said, you know what? We might sign as few as 12. We might sign as few as 12. Didn't say it was definitely 12, but said we may sign only 12. But they only have 9 seniors this year. They're big on retention, keeping guys they have. And so, do I think it's going to be 12? If you guys press me, I would say, I bet it ends up being 15, maybe even 18, maybe even 18. I don't know if it'll go that high, but I'm just saying, I was told that it could be as few as 12.
So what does that do for the overall number? Are they going 12 because they got too many right now, or are they expecting to maybe
lose a few?
I think there's a lot. Now, listen, you said lose a few. Here's the thing. Like I said, they've done a really good job of retention. And another thing is, I think their philosophy is if we recruit a guy, if he comes in here, and even if he, isn't necessarily panning out on the field yet, if he's doing everything we expect of him to do, taking care of his business, he's part of the program, he's showing leadership, he's working hard, I don't think they're going to run guys off. There were a couple of 2 or 3 guys even last year that I know that I thought would not be back because I was told those guys would never play here. Okay. And I was told by a really good source, they'll never play here, but they weren't going to run them off. So I think that's part of it too. I think there are a lot of factors involved in it, John. I don't know how much of it is the numbers. You can bring in 105 now. I mean, you can have guys on scholarship, but I really don't know all the plan. But now let's not forget that the portal is still there. So, let's say you sign, let's just say hypothetically, you sign 15 high school players and you lose guys maybe that unexpectedly, perhaps in the portal. There's always a portal. You can always hit it. You can always.
Yeah. Somebody is asking on our chat line right now or making the statement, why sign a highly ranked class when players can just transfer every year?
Well, that's again, everybody has a different philosophy. A lot of these schools believe in what that question right there. In other words, we're going to sign 12 to 15 high school players every year, and we're going to make hay in the portal. We're gonna sign guys who are already proven quality players that we think we can come in. They can come in and we can plug in and play a year or two. Of course, you have turnover every year, but that's one philosophy. But you know what DeBoer's philosophy is, and it's not a lot different than what Kirby Smart's is, meaning that they believe in recruiting high school players, developing them, retention. That's kind of there, and then plugging in guys from the portal where they need them. So that's just a difference in philosophy.
2 questions about personnel. One of them is about a running back from Gainesville, Georgia.
Nigel Newkirk.
Yeah. That's him. That's him.
He's a really good player. Yeah, he's coming in this weekend. I like Alabama's chances with Nigel. We'll see, but obviously LSU's in there, Michigan, Ohio State. But I do think Alabama's in good position with him. Again, he's from Gainesville, Georgia, 5'11", 200-pound guy that was a teammate of two guys, Xavier Griffin and Jamarian Matthews in Gainesville, Georgia, that signed with Alabama last year. So he's got connections to Alabama. I like their chances right now.
And the other one is from the chat line. Ask Rodney about Turner, the defensive lineman from Mississippi.
Well, and we can talk about it's the line, the number of people they're recruiting on the offensive and defensive line.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's specifically about Turner. I think when you look at him, he was kind of a guy that was under the radar, and then Alabama spotted him early, got in on him early, and he's blown up. He's a very disruptive player, about 6'2", 280 at Louisville, Mississippi. And he's, like I said, he's really productive. I mean, you look at him on tape, and he's a guy that stands out, aggressive. I mean, quick. You can see the tools there. And now all of a sudden, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Texas is in there. And I'm not saying watch them in this situation necessarily, but anytime Texas is involved, you know what that means. Money can be slinging around because they pay a lot of money. So, but yes, he's a fantastic prospect, and I like Alabama's chances.
It's going to be a big weekend. I know there's a lot going on. I saw a piece about, the highly rated quarterback that Alabama has gotten a commitment from out of Baton Rouge. I believe he's participating in the Elite 11 quarterback competition.
Yeah, Elijah Haven is he's a good-looking kid. I mean, he's 6'5", he's 225, 230 pounds, big. Very productive. I mean, he's got huge numbers. I think he accounted for like 73 touchdowns last year, something like that. 60. I think it was 62 passing and 11 rushing. So he's multidimensional. He can run. Again, very athletic. He has I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Just watching his tape, it's kind of an awkward delivery. It looks like, I mean, he's very accurate with the ball, strong arm. So. He's a top-notch guy.
And Alabama's had a lot of success, particularly under the Nick Saban years with wide receivers. I see a 5-star, Monshun Sales from Indianapolis is going to visit this weekend.
Okay, John and Barry, I'm going to give you a little trivia question.
Oh, great.
All right.
Love this.
What's his nickname?
The only reason why I know is because
Soupy.
Very nice. Only reason why I know is because I read TigerInsider.com. His nickname is Bama.
There you go. He's a native. He's a native of the state. And but here's the thing. I think a lot of people had Monshun Sales predicted to Alabama earlier, and just a lot of schools in there: Indiana, Texas, Miami, Ohio State. I mean, this guy's really coveted. He's from Indianapolis, 6'5", 200 pounds. Some people have drawn comparisons to Julio. Now, again, is he that? Who knows? But he is a fantastic prospect, no doubt. He'll be here this weekend. And, I think Indiana right now has kind of made that move, but they had the visit, right? I mean, I think Alabama signing a smaller class might be willing to pay a little bit more than maybe if they were signing a larger class. So we'll see.
We will. It's going to be, I know you'll be on top of it with updates throughout the weekend with the big visit in Tuscaloosa, baseball, softball, so much going on with Alabama athletics. And I know Tiger Insider is all over it, Rodney. Let our listeners and viewers know how they can be a part of what you do and never miss any of the information.
Yeah, it's TigerInsider.com. It's only $48 a year. You can get instant access with your credit card if you prefer. There is an address there to send a check, and that gives you all the premium information. But also our all sports forum. I mean, it's right now it's softball.
Yeah, it is. Who'd have
Love
thunk?
it.
Who would have thunk that?
Rodney, appreciate you very much. Look forward to talking with you again later.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
guys. Appreciate it.
You too, buddy. Thank you so much. Rodney Orr, the Tiger Insider, brought to you exclusively each and every week by the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Fresh seafood of all kinds brought in daily from the Gulf of America. Shrimp, crab meat, oysters, and a huge variety of fish that changes daily according to weather and season. They also have a great selection of cooked seafood that includes made-from-scratch po' boys, sandwiches, and dinners. And they also cook seafood from the case that you select. And, of course, all of their batters, sauces, coleslaw, beans are made from scratch. They've been doing it since May of 1994. They know seafood. So go by and see them at 3750 Norman Bridge Road or call ahead 288-4272. I'm going for that grilled grouper po' boy over the weekend. You should too. It is outstanding.
For about the 1,400th time, the grilled grouper po' boy. That means this month, 32 years of the Destin Connection seafood market?
As long as we've been on. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great combination.
That is.
Longshore McKnight and the Destin Connection Seafood Market. Go by and see David and his crew. Hey, look at this. 25 minutes past the hour, and we're ready to talk about that daily dog. We sure are.
Chris the Bammer says 23 minutes, abbreviated. How about that? Now, there's some other stuff. We've been talking about the SEC. One thing really quickly, John's so good at reading between the lines. Of course, the SEC has come out with their official television schedule and all of that. The athletic director at the University of Arkansas, his name's Hunter Yurichek. He ain't real happy.
No.
ESPN scheduled the Razorbacks for a 10:15 Eastern Time kickoff at Utah on September 12th. And the next week, they have a noon kickoff hosting Georgia September the 19th. Hunter Yurichek says that's bollocks. That's horse hockey. That's not fair. And Sankey was asked about that, about Yurichek, griping about their $1 billion or multi-$100 million media rights partner. Those guys are no good. What does it mean when Sankey says, quote, "We have communicated the displeasure in advance"?
Yeah.
That means he's already told them to cut the crap, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just chisel it down where common people can understand. I mean, I like Greg Sankey a lot. He's always been nice to us, but, man, he uses a lot of big words and phrases. Let's just chisel it down a little bit. Here's the problem, Barry, in my mind.
Yeah.
What in the hell are you scheduling Utah for anyway? I mean, if you want to play a big boy, why them? I mean, they're Utah. No. I mean, I know Notre Dame embarrassed you last year. It wasn't a good showing. They put 60 on you. But why are you going to Utah to play a game? I don't get that.
Sankey.
That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and Sankey would say it differently than John just said it. But he's probably said that. It ain't our fault you scheduled Utah, for gosh sakes.
I mean, didn't you learn when Freeze talked about going out to Berkeley to take on Cal and what a big pain in the butt that was?
Big pain in the butt.
You don't want to do that.
Because Fernando Mendoza was a freshman on the team. And Sankey says, quote, "That's one of the points of authority that are given to our broadcast partner. We do delegate that authority as part of our TV contracts." If you don't understand what that means, and most people don't, he says, look, they're paying us millions of dollars. They can put who they want on, We delegate that authority to them. It ain't the conference deciding, that you're going to play Georgia at noon the week after you have to play at Utah at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, that's, they pay us all the money. We let them decide when the games are going to be played.
I mean, Tobias, I couldn't have said it better. Just shut up, get your check, and sit down.
Tobias says Arkansas should be happy they aren't in the Big 12. Pipe down. Cash those checks.
Yeah,
Shut
come
up.
on. You don't hear Vanderbilt complaining, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting kicked around most every year, but, hey, they're cashing those checks. They're happy as they can be, whistling, and going crazy and thinking this is awesome. They just revamped their football stadium. How do you think they did it? Picking up a check in Destin every year.
That's like guys like Prince Andrew, All he's got to do is just shut up. I know he ain't never going to be the king of England. He's like third or fourth or fifth or sixth down the line. Well, if you can just stay out of trouble and cash all them royalty checks, pardon the pun, Arkansas is the same way. They're in the royal family, John. They ain't King Charles. They ain't Prince William. They ain't Prince Harry. I don't even know if he's in there anymore. But you're in the royal family. Sit there and eat all of the meals served by butlers and cash your big checks and shut up about, wait a minute, I got to go to a ribbon cutting? I don't want to do that. Just shut up.
I will say,
get your
playing
money.
Georgia in Fayetteville at 11 o'clock. That one, I get the Utah game. Now, that's Mountain Time, Barry, so that's still a late kick in Salt Lake City. That's like 8:15 their time, 9:15 Central, so that's a late kick, but I get it. It's that late ESPN sort of West Coast game, if you will.
Right.
But playing Georgia the next week at 11, I mean, I hate it for you, Arkansas, but, I mean, you know who's playing at 2:30, Bama. Auburn and Florida is at 6:30. That's going to be a great one. You got Kentucky and A&M also that day. I think that's an early game as well. LSU and Ole Miss in Oxford. That's a primetime game. We know that.
Ain't nobody going to be watching anything else at that time.
That's right.
Other than that.
And you know what? Troy's playing at Missouri that day. So, hey,
that beatdown will already be in the books by then. That beatdown will already be a final. Trojans come out of there. We'll be back home luxuriating in the upset win and watching that other game. It's basically, if anybody's got to complain about that Georgia-Arkansas game, it shouldn't be Arkansas. It should be Georgia.
Well, true. I'm with you. And based on Georgia's schedule, Barry, their first 3 games, I believe, are early. Because they're playing Tennessee State, Western Kentucky, then they're at Arkansas. I believe they're playing a lot of early games. Then they got that Oklahoma matchup, which I'm sure will be a little bit better. But Auburn's got a good deal. I mean, they got a 2:30 and then 2 night kickoffs after that. So I think Auburn's first 3 games are the fans got to be pretty happy about that.
We gotta go to break, but again, I just wanted some clarification because Greg Sankey was trying to pull Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek back in line. Hey, what did you say? What do you think about what Hunter Yurachek said? Getting on the line a little bit about the schedule from ESPN. Sankey says, quote, "We have communicated the displeasure in advance," end quote. I bet that's not the words that Charles Lee used.
No. Not even close.
Yeah. Hey, son, I got a voicemail to call Charles Lee. I'm not even sure voicemails were a thing back when I got a message to call Charles Lee. What is he going to be talking about? I think he's going to voice his displeasure in advance, Dad.
I think he might do that. Okay. Let's take a break so we have ample time to talk about the Daily Dog.
Yep, it's coming up. It's Longshore and McKnight. He is in the home studio. I'm in Gainesville, Florida for the NCAA Gainesville Regional. It's the Friday edition of Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Get below employee pricing and save thousands. Enjoy prices even lower than what we pay with Stivers Ford Employee Pricing Plus. Up to 20 grand off F-150s or 10 grand off Mustangs.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Get below employee pricing and save thousands. Enjoy prices even lower than what we pay with Stivers Ford Employee Pricing Plus. Up to 11 grand off Broncos and Expeditions or 8 grand off Explorers.
Stivers Ford, where price sells Fords.
All right, man, grab a Budweiser and take a knee. It is the best time of the year. It's baseball season. That means sunshine. It means behind-the-back peanut tosses. And it means sharing some cold, frosty Budweisers with your boys. Because there's nothing more American than watching America's game with America's beer. So let me ask you something. Are you ready to bring your A game? Are you ready to cheer every frozen rope down the line and amazing catch at the warning track? Are you ready for pitchers' duels and slugfests? Tell me, are you ready for the thrill of an incredible walk-off victory? I can't hear you. Are you ready for Budweiser and baseball? Then get on your feet, raise an ice-cold Bud, and let's make this season larger than life. Great times await. Get some Bud!
Enjoy responsibly. Budweiser Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with one of their clinics and take advantage of physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solution services. Get back in the game. get back to work, and get back to life with Phoenix Physical Therapy. To find a location near you and to schedule an appointment, go to phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. That's phoenixphysicaltherapy.com. Okay, about 25 minutes to the top of the hour. I guess we can transition into the Phantoms Daily Dog. As you can tell, I'm a little more upbeat today about the dog than I have been in days past. It'd been a tough little run.
Yeah,
I felt like Mark Grace. I needed something to get out of the slump. I didn't go to the extreme that he did, but I did change some things around to kind of get back to some winning ways. And look out, Barry.
Yeah.
We got a winner last night, and there again, it's kind of like you can kind of see the tone. And I looked early, took a peek, and went, oh, okay, I like how this is going. Low scoring, a lot of missed shots. I mean, a lot of missed shots. I'm not saying anything was funny. I'm just telling you there were a lot of missed shots.
They couldn't
last
shoot.
Night. Yeah. A lot
So
of
the thing
missed
about
shots.
John, it's never really difficult to detect, when he opens up by saying, you probably have been able to figure out that I'm a little bit more upbeat. Yeah, we ain't never had a problem with that. John ain't exactly Mr. Stoneface over there. When something goes right, he'll let you know. When something happens that he doesn't like, believe me, it ain't hard to get that out of him.
Yeah. So we were monitoring it. We were observing it, kind of liking how the scoring was going. Got to like the 8-minute mark in the fourth quarter, doing the math in my head, thinking, okay, they got to score like 40 points between the two of them in the last 8 minutes for me to, well, I used another term, lose this game. And believe me, I know it can happen. In the NBA, things can happen. But I did not watch the last 8 minutes because there was a really good episode of Law & Order on. It was a rerun, of course. But I wanted to see how it played out. And I went back, and the game was over. It was finished, not over. And I went, well, that's probably a pretty good sign. There's no overtime, and the game's over. And boy, was it. It made my mark by 10.5 points. The total was 219.5. They scored a total of 209. So we kept it under the total last night, cashing a ticket, which it's been a minute, but we're glad to be able to cash it as we roll into the weekend on a winning note. And we're going to go with Game 7 tomorrow night. Game 7 tomorrow night. Yep. Where the San Antonio Spurs will travel to Oklahoma City to determine who will win the Western Conference in the NBA to face the New York Knicks, who have already won the Eastern Conference. They're sitting around waiting to see what's going to happen. I like the way San Antonio's playing. I really like it. And there again, don't let the score deceive you. I don't know what Oklahoma City was doing last night. I mean, they acted like they didn't even show up, which, I'm not complaining. All those missed shots were in my favor. But I really think San Antonio's just got a little bit more of a chip on their shoulder than OKC to me, Barry, seems a little fat and happy.
I'm over OKC. They're looking to become the first back-to-back NBA finalists since Golden State, like 8 years ago. I just don't think they're that good of a team to be in that kind of rarefied air. I like the Spurs in this one. What's the official phantom opinion on this Daily Dog?
Because that is very important. And I got a feeling by the time this game tips tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on NBC, that you might see a little movement. So we're going to go ahead and tell you what we're seeing here. Looking at several regulated wagering sites from Bet365 to BetMGM to FanDuel to Hard Rock to Fanatics, so many of them out there. The best number I'm seeing is the Spurs are catching 4.5. I see that at 4 different outlets. Several of them have it at 3.5. Certainly I'm going to get the best value out there, so I'm going with the Spurs plus 4.5. I think, Barry, by tip tomorrow, it could be all across the board at 3.5, maybe even lower than that. So jump on it now before that line moves anymore. But I like the Spurs plus the 4.5 in a game I think they can win outright, even on the road.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it for the right to see who gets outdrawn in their home arena by the Knicks fans in the NBA Finals.
So I do want to let you know this, Barry, and that is official. The Spurs plus 4.5, the daily dog for this weekend. It'll be tomorrow night, though. I feel like it's only fair that I bring this up. You were not here yesterday when we were talking about the daily dog. It was a tough one. We took a shot in Major League Baseball on Wednesday.
Yeah.
An early game. It was between two teams. One of the teams was leading their division. Let me see if they're still leading their division, by the way. Maybe after the other night, they're not. We took a chance. No, they're not, actually. With the American League Western Division leader Athletics at the time, we're taking on a team that was right behind them, a half a game back, the Seattle Mariners.
I remember that. I do remember that. Yes.
The Mariners had won the previous two matchups. It was the rubber game, I believe, and the home team was an underdog in that game.
Right.
It just goes to show you the type of week that I was experiencing, Barry, because, I'm a big box score guy, and if you look at the box score in that game, the Mariners jumped on the Athletics 3-0 in the top of the first.
Okay, I'm with you. Yep, looking.
And the Athletics did not score a run until the bottom of the ninth. And it was too late by that time because they were 1 run away from being 10-run ruled. It was 9-0.
9-1 was the final.
Oh.
And they scored that run with a runner coming in from third base on a double play. They had to get 2 outs just to get that final run in. Seattle 9 and the Athletics 1.
Oh, it was so tough. It was tough. That was a hard one there. You were done. I mean, you're not even to the bottom of the first yet, and you're going, oh, this ain't looking good.
There ain't no
mulligans at all
in Nevada.
Yeah.
Other thing about the Daily Dog, and yes, tomorrow night you'll know the actual participants in the NBA Finals. Bad news is the finals don't start till Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So we've got Monday and we've got Tuesday with the Phantom's Daily Dog. And despite, the travails of the business that the Phantom is in, the NBA has largely been really good to the Phantom this year. So he's going to have to go elsewhere on Monday.
Can we go Women's College World Series maybe on Monday? Could we do that?
Do they bet?
The
Women's College World Series?
I'm sure they do have wagers on it. I'll look that up over the weekend. I'm sure these college games have a number on them. Is probably run rules. I think the totals probably are maybe a little easier to handicap than maybe a pitcher. Because, like I assume in softball you're betting on the pitcher, and the pitchers are so dominant.
The pitchers in softball are much more important than the pitchers in baseball.
Okay, I got a question about that. Why in softball is it the ball yellow, but in baseball it's white?
Because baseball's a more traditional sport.
Oh.
I remember the story back in the early 70s when Charlie Finley was the owner of the Oakland Athletics. He made everybody wear a mustache. This is back when they won a three-peat back in the early 70s with Reggie Jackson and Catfish Hunter and Sal Bando and all of that.
Gene Tennis. Wasn't he on that team?
He was. Anyway, where did that come from?
Vita Blue? Wasn't Vita Blue on that team?
Shut up. What is he? Has he got something on his screen? How is he doing this? Anyway, Charlie Finley's idea.
When 7-Eleven had the ices in the baseball trading cup, I had Gene Tennis and Vita Blue.
The Charlie Finley idea was, since you play so many night games, to make the baseballs yellow.
Okay.
And that got voted down. Everybody's like, no, baseball should be white. Bob Uecker once said that they turned it down because they couldn't find enough jaundiced cows. for the horse hide and all
Yeah.
that. But it's the same thing, I remember back in the day, went far as back like the early 80s. You used to have orange golf balls and
right.
yellow golf balls. And, you have yellow tennis balls basically everywhere except Wimbledon and all that. I'm not against that stuff. John's, a little bit more adventuresome on uniforms and stuff like that. Let's change it up a little bit. But yellow baseballs never really had much of a
Bear, I've
chance.
asked for the white tennis ball. I'd like to see the white tennis ball come back.
Why not? Why not?
They're all
Why
yellow.
not? Coming
I'd
up,
like to see that.
it's the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777
is.
topic wheel to wrap up our week's worth of programming on Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Prattville Carpet is the most trusted name in flooring in the river region. Ray Bowles and his staff have an extensive line of Mohawk, stain-resistant carpeting in all the latest styles and colors. Prattville Carpet also has hardwood, vinyl, and ceramic tile for all of your flooring needs. Professionally installed at the absolute lowest prices. Take advantage of cash and carry vinyl plank at just $239 a foot. Call them today to set up your free measurement for your home, office, lake house, hunting camp, or wherever you need flooring. 285-8117. That's 285-8117, or drop by 2201 Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville for Prattville Carpet.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You get a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Have to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got your Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What I miss? I have no idea.
Drive away in a Ford F-150 or win your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's Truck and 25K free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Visit our Players Club and check out this month's exciting free play promotions. You'll have more fun at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Drawings May 29th and 30th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
One quick thing here before we get into one other thing I was going to mention. This is kind of an interesting story. I was talking with one of the University of Florida athletic department officials. I had a big tour yesterday morning. He said one of the interesting things about our season this year we got to get used to is Anthony Rubio is on the team. He's a walk-on running back. He is the son of Marco Rubio. And Anthony Rubio is likely not to play very much.
I can see
he's not pushing the top of the depth chart or anything, but he says we have Secret Service agents at every practice. They'll be there at every game, every road trip we take. He says you can't tell they're there, but they're there. They're not dressed, in the like the Blues Brothers or anything like that. They'll blend in. But we've got to account for them. They're in our traveling party. They're in all that. So that's kind of cool, I thought. And it's okay. You got Secret Service agent at every practice, every OTA, every game, and all that kind of stuff. Who knew that Marco Rubio's son was a college running back?
I was not aware of that. Was not aware of that. I tell you what I am aware of, though. It is the weekend at Victoryland for the Trucks and Bucks giveaway. You can be the big winner.
We've been talking about it for a long time. The moment is this weekend.
It certainly is. Out at Victoryland, you could be the winner of a new F-150. You could be the winner of $25,000 in free play. So much going on where you can be a winner, too, at Victoryland. Exit 22 off I-85 in Shorter, Alabama. Be there this weekend. You could be the big winner.
All right. Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel to wrap up the program. 6 dynamic topics, research curated from Gurn Jr., brought to you by Victoryland 777 Casino, exit 22, I-85 in Shorter, Alabama, where you can be a winner too. First one is Pinky.
Pinky.
Is this an injury? Is this
Pinky Tuscadero from
Pinky?
Happy
Mitchell
Days.
Robinson, the center for the Mets.
Yeah.
Broken right pinky finger.
Ooh, it's gotta hurt. Gotta hurt.
Now he's a right-handed shooter.
Yep.
He's not much of a shooter. He averages about 5 points a game, and he ain't a super. He averages like 14 minutes a game. So it's not like the finals are going to swing on Mitchell Robinson's pinky, which sounds like a Dr. Hook song. But it is going to be a consideration, I suppose, to the guys in Vegas. And I don't care if Mitchell Robinson spends 3 days wearing an oven mitt on his right hand. They are going to know the condition of Mitchell Robinson's pinky.
Yeah.
I don't know how they know.
Know before the trainer for the New York Knicks knows.
Yes.
What his status is. It's amazing how they find this information out. It really is. Unbelievable.
They probably would have, x-rays that Mitchell Robinson doesn't see,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get the sense there's a lot of people like Clarence Beeks in the in Vegas that just know how to find information and sliding manila envelopes across the ground in a parking garage.
Gosh, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Trading Places.
Clarence
Look it
Beeks.
up, kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
All
here's
right.
a $10,000 check to Clarence Beeks. Oh, we'll take care of that.
Yes. Like y'all a couple of bookies.
Yeah. Let's spin away. See what we got. 5 more to go here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel. We don't know what these topics are. We're seeing them for the first time as you are. We're having to comment on the fly, if you will.
You ever notice that on Yacht Rock on John's satellite radio, you never see Phil Collins and Illegal Alien being played anymore? That was a catchy tune.
Actually, it's on 80s on 8. They do play it on 80s on 8.
No fun. Okay, the Alien Strikes Back. Victor Wembanyama forces a date with history. He actually played well in the one they had in Game 5. He was terrible before. Did you realize that of the 5 finalists for NBA Player of the Year, and Wembanyama was one of them, 4 of the 5 were international players.
Oh, wow.
4 of the 5 were not from here. It has become an international game. 3 of his first 4 shots were threes. By the time he made his first bucket at the rim, a layup over Chet Holmgren, Wembanyama already had 11 points. See, that's the thing, though, John. He's 7'4", and he's being Larry Bird. He's shooting from the outside, which is fine that you can shoot from the outside, but you're 7'4". Take it to the cup, my man.
Yeah, that's right. Come on. No messing around.
That's right, yes.
No messing around. He needs to have a big game tomorrow night as well.
Oh, yes. They do not win without it. They
gotta have a big
to
game out of him.
Yep. Okay, the NBA MVPs, the top 3 were Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, and Victor Wembanyama. None of them are from the United States. Not one. What's wrong with American basketball anymore? Are we not as tough, or do we not work as hard? I don't know. We'll see. Here we go. Back at it.
And happy.
Yeah,
All right. So. Let's see. We've got 4 more to go. Let's see where we end up here.
All right. Big Trucks and Bucks giveaway this weekend. Baking clay. Baking clay. Oh, yeah. There's some people out there who make roasts, roast beef on these big clay pots. They just put them in the oven. It's supposed to help. It is so dadgum hot out there. The hottest May in record in Paris, France, which is a northern town. Sinner lost. Yannick Sinner, you see him on the left with ice on his face. He lost in one of the big upsets you'll ever want to see. It's so hot, and the clay doesn't do anything to help it. In Wimbledon, where it's where it rains half the time, you got the grass, and the grass helps. It doesn't reflect it up. The clay is hot. I mean, it reflects the heat, and Yeah, you melt your shoes out there.
Yeah, it's hot. I
awful.
remember playing at Lagoon Park years ago one spring afternoon. It was hot that day, too. Whew, man, really hot.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, hope things cool off over in Gay Paris.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Definitely affecting play.
Yes, it
Back
is.
at it here. Here we go.
3 more to go. Blue, red,
3 to
yellow.
get.
That's what's on the wheel. Let's see what we got here. Love not knowing what these are and just having to learn on the fly.
We are shooting from
Sorry,
the hip.
Grizz. Sorry, Grizz. This Memphis?
Is this the Memphis Grizzlies or is this? Ooh. Oh, the new lottery system. I saw where there's consideration for the NBA to televise their ping pong balls or whatever.
Okay.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. I got to tell you, this is a big story. Memphis, the Utah Jazz as a result of the trade of Jaren Jackson to Utah. The league's proposal added restrictions that prohibit teams from having their pick land in the top 5 in 3 straight years or winning the lottery in consecutive years. I get that. You win the lottery 2 years in a row, and your team is made. I have a hard time getting into all of that, just like I do with the salary cap and all of that.
Yeah.
The pick Memphis acquired, initially unprotected, is now top 5, protected by the fact that if they were in Czechoslovakia, if they were in Italy, you'd have to make my bunk up. But, yeah, we're in Czechoslovakia, so now you have to make everybody's bunk up.
I wonder if that would happen
regulations.
if this was the Lakers. Would they have done this to the L.A. Lakers? But it's just little old Memphis. Small market.
Let's screw Memphis over. Yeah. I like the idea of changing it up, the lottery and all that. You can't have number 1 picks back-to-back years or any of that. But,
yeah,
I don't know if I'd ever watch it televised. I mean, I watch a lottery if it was like the lottery, which I've never played before.
Yeah.
With the ping pong balls and the pretty lady over on the side doing this number and all that. But the NBA lottery, just tell me who they get.
Yeah.
And then I'll figure it out
from
from
there.
there.
I don't need fanfare. I don't need
there you
all
go.
that part of it. All right, 2 to go. Blue
2 to
and
go.
red. That's normally the case.
They
Blue
ought to
and
just
red.
put it on multicolored spinning wheels like we do and just, all right, the number 1 pick goes to hard caps.
Caps.
Used to have one of those. They served ice cream in at the Major League Baseball games.
Yeah, minor league games. That's exactly
all right. Hard caps. Oh, this is another one. Salary cap. This is actually a big deal because everybody's tired of the Dodgers just outspending everybody. A salary cap. MLB's proposal would cap spending in 2027 at $245.3 million. I could read all the rest of it, but you guys would click off. The problem is 2 things. Number 1, I don't think it would pass a court of law, to limit the amount of money that an American can earn. Number 2 is it doggone sure ain't going to get approved by the Major League Baseball Players Association for the same reason. The players say, sure, we'll give up our potential highest earnings for the betterment of the sport. Sure, yeah, we'll do. No, they ain't doing that.
But don't they want equality and they want everybody to have a chance? While at big market teams like the Dodgers always be in that position, I don't know. You would think they would want it a little more.
No, they want to get paid. Wait a minute. I can't get paid what I want because it would go over the cap? We ain't voting for that. No. We want to get paid as much as we can possibly get paid without restriction because this is America, Jack.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. One more.
All right, one more to
Just
go.
enough time. We are right on schedule.
We certainly are. Got to spin it to make it official. Double checked on that. It is a requirement that we do have to spin it, I'm told. It is fell apart. Fell apart.
Wrap it up with fell
more
apart.
Tennis. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Now, the big one was Yannick Sinner. He got eliminated. He was the number 1 guy. He'd won 10 bajillion matches in a row. Yeah. And the odds on that was crazy. The guy risked $5,000 to win $50 on Sinner for getting upset. That's the dumbest thing for
what
winning
are you thinking about?
But he's out. Djokovic, there's the odds are going to be crazy because who in the world is going to win it if and Alexander Zverev, whatever his name is. I never heard of him. Casper Ruud, Francisco Cerundolo. Who are these guys?
Yeah. Come on.
Where's McEnroe?
I mean, this is like watching a Purdue Minnesota Big Ten game at 11 o'clock. Come on.
Where's Andre Agassi? Where's Andy Roddick? Where's Eli Nastasi? Who are these guys?
Yeah. Never heard of them.
So Djokovic will have the best odds, but he's like 90, so who knows? Who knows what will happen in the French Open?
Well, who knows what's going to happen with college baseball? A lot of that slated for today throughout the country. Barry in Gainesville, for Troy and Miami later tonight. Of course, Auburn and Milwaukee, Wisconsin in about 3 hours. Bama and Alabama State later tonight as well.
6.
Women's softball tomorrow. NBA Finals. And I guess the Braves are playing somebody this weekend.
I guess they are, but it's a college baseball weekend. Troy and Miami from Gainesville this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Check it out on the ACC network or check out our radio broadcast because we'll have it. Monday, an entirely new week. We'll do it again. We're not scared.
Sure will. Look forward
It's
to
Longshore. Many thanks to Rodney Orr, the Tider Insider, brought to you by the Destin Connection Seafood Market, and for our producer, Gurn Jr., John Longshore, Barry McKnight. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.